Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, and give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak with us. Double honors unto the Elders, Apostles, Great Millstone, the Elders, Great Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the sincere servants of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, serving him in truth and sincerity. Yeah, so coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. This lesson will be based off of this article, of course, from nationalnews.com, which says, by race wars, defense report warns that future plagues will target specific genomes and races. And we already know a lot of things are going on with ever since 2019 ended 2019, beginning of 2020. But you had this pestilence, this plague that broke out. But and then until mainly beginning 2022, ever since then, things kind of calmed down just a little bit. But we see how Esau, Edom, he's preparing more and more, or he has even heavier, bigger stuff prepared, man. Bigger plays prepared. And who is Esau, Edom? Of course, we can link up according to, within the Bible, of course, you have a biblical Edom, or biblical nation known as the Edomites, which go back to Esau, one of the sons of Isaac. And we can look at Genesis chapter 27, how Isaac gave Esau his blessing. First, Jacob supplanted Esau for the blessing. He was, that the first born blessing, or, the birthright, better word to say, the birthright that Esau was about to receive. Well, he sold down to Jacob because he was hungry. So he traded his birthright for some food, which was completely stupid, but that's what he did. And Jacob supplanted Esau for his blessing. So Jacob received the birthright. Esau came later crying, basically, asking Isaac for a blessing, and Isaac gave Esau a temporal blessing because Jacob received an eternal blessing, which is ultimately the kingdom of heaven. For Jacob is going to rule, which Jacob's name changed onto Israel. So we know what the Israelites will rule the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead and read Isaiah chapter 14. It goes into that. But Isaac gave Esau the blessing of the dew of heaven, the fatness of the earth, and to rule over the earth with the sword. So we know how Esau is ruling right now, currently the earth with the sword, meaning his military, his weapons. That's why Esau, he's able to rule. And by the way, who are the Edomites? Again, what is it? Job 9:24 says how the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. All that links up to the so-called white men, our oppressors, the ones who have oppressed us. Brought, of course, the so-called Negroes onto the Americas through slave ships. We were slaves onto Esau. And Esau came to the Americas, completely slaughtered the so-called Native Americans, Latinos. So we know according to one of the going into Deuteronomy chapter 28, we get the curses that were put upon Israelites, the Israelites, for their disobedience towards Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, towards the Lord, which the true name of the Lord, of course, in the Hebrew is Yahweh, and the Son's name is Yahushai, and we sinned against him. And the plagues that you read in Deuteronomy chapter 28, 14 on down, happened because of our disobedience towards the Lord. So these curses, when you read those curses, man, all those curses apply. Every single one of those curses apply to our people, the so-called Negroes, Native Americans, Latinos. And the Lord used Esau as a main sword to come against our people and to take us down, to slaughter us, and to oppress us. And unto this day, we're still under oppression. Esau is trying every single way to exterminate us as a people. as we read Psalm chapter 83 and 1, it says, keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Yeah, and who's the Lord's people? The Lord's people are the Israelites. And it's going to go into that. It says verse 4. And by the way, you can look at Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 6. It says how the Lord made us a holy nation above all other nations, as well as Deuteronomy chapter 14 and 2. How the Lord has made us, again, a holy nation over all other nations. The Lord has chosen us to be his people. Other scriptures like Psalm chapter 147, verses 19 through 20. The Lord has not dealt so with any other nation, but he has only dealt with the Israelites. Go ahead and read Romans chapter 9 in the New Testament. And it'll give you how what the promises, the covenants, the ministry and the service of the Lord is all given to the Israelites to do and to receive, to inherit. It's not given unto all nations. The Gentiles in the scripture, whenever the Gentiles refer to, or whenever the scriptures refer to the Gentiles receiving salvation, that's referring unto the Israelite foreigners who have been scattered amongst these other nations, who have been, of course, back then, you had Israelites who grew up under the Greek customs, and they lost their heritage. So that was referring on to the Israelite foreigners. And nowadays, the Gentiles, we can link that up, concerning the Gentiles. We can link that up to the Israelite foreigners. Again, referring to the Gentiles that will receive salvation. Again, that's referring on to the Israelite foreigners who have been scattered amongst these other nations, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 64. And you had the real Gentiles, which is the heathen, the heathen nations. So it says, Psalm chapter 83 and 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Exactly. And that's what they're doing, man. Esau, what goes on to say, verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek and the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. By the way, what the Edom, of course, we know that's a so-called white man, which we say so-called white because really no one's white on this planet Earth. Esau, the so-called white people, they have red, pinkish skin tone. Nobody on this planet Earth has the skin color of white. It says the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. Yeah, Ishmaelites being the, of course, so-called Arabians or Arabs. It says of Moab, being the so-called Chinese. So it says, and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Of course, we know Ammon to be the so-called Japanese, and Amalek to be the head tribe of the nation of Esau, which the Amalek today are the small hats. Those people in the land of Israel who call themselves the Lord, or the children of the Lord. They call themselves the children of God, right? Meanwhile, they own all the corporations, they own all the money in the world. When I say they own all the money in the world, I'm saying, what the money all goes back to international elite bankers, banking families, right? Which are all small hats. So the point is that how all these nations are against the Israelites. Let them cut. It says in verse 4, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So behind closed doors, this is what they're doing. This is what they're planning behind closed doors, man. And they're not going to put it at the forefront. But these meetings that they have, these countries, whenever they have these world meetings, these are one of the things that are in their talks. Get in real quick. Well, Margaret Sanger, she has that quote. It says, social media users are sharing a quote from Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger without context. An example can be seen here. It says, the quote reads, "We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population." Skipping down, it says the quote is real and appears in a December 10th, 1939 letter to a program director advocating employing black physicians and ministers to gain the trust of communities. The program was meant to serve here. Yeah, so this, and by the way, she was an Edomite. She was a full-on Edomite, man. If you don't know how she looks like, this is how she looks like, as you can see. So she's obviously a full-blown Edomite. And that's what she said. She said they don't want to go out that they want to exterminate the Negro population. They don't only want to exterminate the Negro population, the so-called Negro population, but they also want to exterminate the so-called Native American and Latino population. It's the reason why they target our people the most. The whole entire system is designed against our people. The court system, everything, man. So clearly after us. So the article says, to get into it, engineered pathogens have long been a theoretical concern, but technological advancements have quickly thrust sophisticated biotechnological weapons from the realm of the abstract to a very real possibility. And a new defense report points to a specific type of biological weapon that they believe will be the future of warfare. A report by the RAND Corporation that was funded by the National Research Defense Institute and the Office of the Secretary of Defense showed the potential for engineered pathogens to serve as weapons and underscored the importance of countries taking these technologies into account when strategizing and planning. The report identifies synthetically generated and genomically targeted plagues as one major area of interest. So there you have it, man. It goes on to say, and skipping to the next paragraph, you can read this one yourself. It says, in the past, biological weapons were not taken very seriously because there was such a big risk of the forces that deploy them sustaining collateral damage. Because pathogens move around so easily, the chances of them affecting those who release them were long considered too high to make this a viable option or a viable method of warfare. Yeah, because, I mean, that's common sense, right? But as the scriptures say, knowledge shall increase. We're in these times when, basically knowledge increasing. We're living this prophecy, man. That's why you got AI and, you have all these studies coming out. And again, just more and more stuff that's being revealed. Or, just more and more stuff that's being Esau's amounting to and getting more knowledge on. We're simply in the times of knowledge being increased. That's why the Lord's allowing Esau to come up again, with these new technologies and stuff. So it says, however, one of the drawbacks of rapid advancements in biotechnology is the evolution of engineered pathogens that can target individuals who have specific genetic markers, which means that certain groups of people could be targeted without causing harm to those applying these weapons. Moreover, with CRS, or it says CRISPR, or however you pronounce this acronym, it says, and artificial intelligence technologies growing more cost-effective every day. These types of weapons are expected to be a major focus of weapons development moving forward. And Another reason these weapons are being pursued is the fact that it could be very difficult to trace the source of such pathogens. As a result, these bioweapons will be very attracted to clandestine operations, because it will be difficult to identify them and hold them accountable. The report points out, in comparison with non-transmissible pathogens, transmissible and ones are inherently difficult to attribute to an actor or even to natural versus human causes, and have how much greater potential for mass casualties and societal disruption. So, hey, there you have it, man. We are, again, Esau is trying to come up against our people as much as possible, as we read Psalm chapter 37. And 2, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. As we know what said in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. Esau, of course, he runs the earth with the sword. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, meaning that the Lord gave the earth into the wicked for a short period of time for them to rule, just to show you, what happens when, sin goes forth out in the world. Basically to give you a look of how the earth will look like if it was ruled in wickedness. It says, the wicked plotteth against the just and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. Yeah, man, and Esau uses many various ways to gnash upon us, to attack us. The just represents Jacob, the Israelites. So the wicked plotteth against the just. Yeah, they're plotting, coming up with many plans and tactics to take us down as a people. It says, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. And Esau uses everything, man. He completely pollutes the entertainment industry. He sets up these celebrities. He makes them sell out, makes them do a lot of things behind closed doors, and he puts them up at the forefront, pushing out wickedness. Where you look at Lil Nas X, you don't see any Edomite, being what's the word I want to use, promoted as much as he is within the entertainment industry. You don't see no Edomite or no other nation, but they give this guy Lil Nas X and a lot of these other sodomite people within the industry, a lot of airtime, and they put them at the forefront. And we know they're Israelites. Point is that they want to push that energy onto our people, man. Within these rap songs, and they're completely wicked, advocating and pushing, adultery, killing, robbing, stealing. All that is directed upon our people, man. And keep in mind, these guys receive, a lot of money for doing that. They're paid for doing that, man. These record labels encourage them and really, make them, Jake is wicked. Jake, falls for what these, record labels tell them. But the point is that it's pushed upon our people to, live these kinds of lifestyles. Again, that's one of the many ways how Esau plots against the just. He does it in secret. He does it, behind the scenes, in ways that you can't see, with your bare eyes, or you're just, he does it in many ways that you can't see at the forefront. When it says wicked plotteth against the just, it doesn't mean Esau is gonna come down shooting every single so-called Negro, Native American, Latino on the streets that he sees. And nah, man, that's not how he's gonna do it. Or at least not right now. We already know we're in these times real soon where Esau's about to come down like a madman, sparing none, and he's really gonna attack the Israelites. But Esau's coming up against us in secret. We just read that quote from Margaret Sanger. And keep in mind, the the worst and effective enemies to somebody is one that you don't even know, is your enemy. That's why Esau, he's obviously not going to put out that he's after our people. He's going to make it look like, he's for everybody. Everybody, is one. And again, to further deceive you and to make it look like he's not your enemy. That's, again, that's the devil. So yeah, it says this potential, or the potential of this type of weapon means that security of biosafety labs have never been more crucial. Creating advanced biotechnological weapons requires high-level technology that can be very expensive, which means that many countries, paramilitary operations, and you see the word right there, T groups, will attack the resources to develop them, or will lack the resources to develop them. However, malicious actors could steal the technology from labs in more advanced countries that are working on this type of technology. Yeah, and the biggest T group, I got to censor the word, but the biggest T group are the Edomites, man. They're the ones who be raiding these other nations, sending up false attacks so that they have an excuse to raid these other nations. They push out propaganda. I mean, mainly you can look at our people for an example, so that they have an excuse to do whatever they want. So Esau, man, himself is the biggest T group. Skipping down, it says last fall, China's top spy agency cautioned that about the threat of genetic weapons that are capable of targeting specific races. A post by the Ministry of State Security on a Chinese social network app warned, if used by individuals or organizations with ulterior motives, genetic weapons can even be developed to kill targets of a predetermined race, thereby selectively attacking targets with specific racial genes. And you can go ahead and do your research, man. All of this is true. So we understand Esau, he's coming down, but you know that he hath but a short time. So he's coming down with great wrath. Paraphrasing Revelation chapter 12 and 12, it says, saying, knoweth that he hath but a short time. Esau understands that his time is short, so he's doing everything he can in order to achieve his agenda, which is ultimately what the NWO, and really exterminating the Israelites. He wants to, and as well as mandating that MOTB, the mark of the beast, that's spoken about in Revelation chapter 13 and 16, and to try to make all flesh take it. Every single person on the planet take it. And by the way, the mark of the beast is the RFID implant. It's the implant, the chip that they want to put in everybody. That's what it is. It said Matthew chapter 24 and 22, and except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Yeah, for the elect's sake, which the elect are, is the chosen ones that the Lord has reserved within the nation of Israel. Within the Israelites, the Lord's people, you have an elect, a remnant that Lord will reserve, because not all Israelites will make it. In Zechariah chapter 13 and 8 through 9, it speaks about 1/3 receiving salvation and being saved, and the Lord having mercy upon. And it speaks about 2/3 that Lord will destroy. The 2/3 of the nation of Israel will receive destruction, because the 2/3 of the nation of Israel will not repent. You got the word going out onto our people, the prophets out here on the highways and byways, of course, which shows to be the men in great millstone, as well as the brothers, with the like doctrine, the same doctrine. We are the prophets. So for our people who don't want to listen, what? They're going to be marked as 2/3. So within America, the Lord will destroy 2/3 of the nation of Israel. So it says, Matthew chapter 24 and 22, and except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So if the Lord didn't shorten these days, man, for the elect's sake, no flesh shall be saved. And we see how Esau, day by day, just things are getting worse, man. Things are getting worse. Like, what, more just wars happening? Esau making more and more plans to move upon us as a people. Esau coming down with more strict and draconian laws. And ultimately, we already know World War III is prophesied. And what, the more and more nuclear weapons are being built. So if the Lord didn't come back, and the Lord then showing these days, then no flesh shall be saved, man. Eventually the whole entire race, man, would expire. Because Esau will kill everybody, and he'll kill himself as well. This is the ruler that's in rulership right now. It says, Mark chapter 13 and 20, and except the Lord has shown these days, no flesh shall be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. Yeah, there you have it. So the Lord shortening these times for our sakes, the elect's sake, which we hope to be part of the elect, us servants of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai. We hope, to be part of the elect. And we put on as the elect. We have faith that we're a part of it. Do we know 100%? No, but again, we pray that we are, and we have faith. We put on as the elect. And what? The elect are going to be serving the Lord and doing everything that the Lord said to do, and that's what we're striving to do as well. So it says, Psalm chapter 37 and 1, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious of the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as a green herb. It says, trust in the Lord and do good. Trust in the Lord Yahweh and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and thou verily shalt be fed. It says, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself in the Lord Yahweh, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Yeah, so point, it says, fret not thyself because of evildoers. So just because Esau's preparing, this, it doesn't mean he's going to have the ability still to exterminate all the Israelites, man, our people. Nah, man, because again, the Lord has a covering. The Lord has a field around his elect. The Lord has a hedge around his elect. So Esau can't lay a finger on them. Unless the Lord allows it. But what, we already know the scriptures prophesy about many Israelites receiving salvation, being changed from this corruptible flesh into incorruptible. So you're going to have a lot of Israelites that won't taste death. So what does that mean? That means that no matter what, Esau won't be able to touch those select souls. Esau won't be able to put those souls to death, man. Those particular Israelites. So yeah, I believe that's the point. You can go ahead and read the article yourself. It's a little bit more, but that's about it. So those are you brothers out there edified. How about Shim Yao Shai, Peshim Kakura Shbaka Thumb. Shalom.